Say it now. Say the obvious prediction right now.
The Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks. Alongside Chris and alongside James, my name is Ryan Chambers. We're the official Dallas Stars podcast of losing Game 1 in the playoff series. Dallas Stars lose by a final score of 3-2 here in Game 1 against the Edmonton Oilers in a best-of-7 series in the 2024 Western Conference Final. They make it interesting tonight, guys. They are able to at least get it to even double overtime, but Connor McDavid ends it early. What's your initial thoughts coming out of this game?
If I had a nickel for every game one that the Stars have lost of the last 7, I'd have 7 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened 7 times. I mean, goodness. How is this going to happen every single time? The Stars were obviously flatter this game. You could notice it from the second period. First period, both teams just feeling each other out, seeing what was happening. They were obviously the flatter team. And once again, in these playoffs, the team that has more rest looks worse than the team that just got off their game 7 for the third time in these playoffs is when that happens. And to still find a way to claw it back with how poorly the Stars played in the second and third period is honestly kind of impressive. And then the Stars do what they always do. They play better in the overtime and find a way to lose it.
Yep. I mean, you're losing game 1 stats so stupid. We've lost 7 straight now, like you said, and we've won 4 of those series already. And we don't know on this one. So who knows where this one goes, but in terms of what Stars are kind of expected to do, I mean, we're on track.
Yeah, I mean, we got them right where we want them, if we ever did.
It's awful. I wish we could win one.
The thing that's going to be more annoying than anything, more than just losing this game, is that we have to listen to Edmonton be like, oh, the media was so wrong. See, we told you guys we're about to dominate the Stars. Yeah, that's going to be the more annoying part. Let's just wait till Saturday.
Well, as annoying as that may sound, they're right.
They're not right. No, they played the perfect game. The Stars sucked, and they still almost lost. They are not right. They are incorrect.
Well, the Stars did not play well at all.
Stars sucked. They were horrible.
They were flat out terrible tonight. And just to kind of pick apart some of these storylines, I mean, you have to talk about the power play. The power play
5.
was literally non-existent. They had 5 power plays to Edmonton's 1, and there's still people online that are complaining about the officiating in this game. What is there to complain about? They gave us a 4-minute power play with the best player in the world in the box.
Yeah.
And you don't take care of business. Oh, well, they got a couple of chances. It doesn't matter if they got a couple of chances. You screwed it up. You didn't score. You lost the game.
Yeah, and you give credit to Edmonton in the first period for those kills. They looked great on those kills. The last 3 power plays for the Stars, they looked great and just didn't finish the job. Like, it's crazy. I mean, that's all on the Stars there. So many chances on those power plays, and no one could bury it.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly how Carolina lost an entire series, was not scoring on the power play, and that's how we lose game 1.
So what was it about the power play that just couldn't get going that y'all noticed out there?
Yeah, like I said, the first 2, Edmonton played a great penalty kill on the first 2. Really fantastic job. They locked it down. We couldn't enter the zone at all, and they were winning a ton of draws. That was the big key for the first ones. The second one, Stars did everything right. So many shots, so many chances, and just didn't execute. That's all it was. Sagan and Ben, and you could maybe argue for Dodonov, were the only ones that really felt like they were clicking at full speed in this game. And no one else could figure out how to put a puck in the net or how to make anything happen offensively.
And really, like, the way we got our goals was getting in Bouchard or getting in Skinner's face. I mean, that's how we got him.
Let's go ahead and talk about Skinner and Ottinger both. It's frustrating because Otter redeemed himself. I don't. You can't. I mean, yeah, the second goal, whatever. He absolutely made up for that and more. The save that he made on Connor McDavid in the first overtime with basically 5 minutes remaining, that's gonna live in infamy if the Stars are able to win this series. If they're not, it's gonna feel even worse. And what's frustrating about this is that you got a performance out of Jake Ottinger, especially after that second goal. After that second goal, he locked everything down. Completely locked everything down, made ridiculous saves in the third period, especially, and then even more so in the first overtime. And then you have Stuart Skinner, who answered a lot of questions today, if you ask me, guys. He was very good as well. If you had asked me at the end of the third period who the better goalie was in the game, I would have told you Stuart Skinner. Now, obviously, that changed after the first overtime, but the better goaltender did not win the game tonight. However, I could have said that the better goaltender won the game tonight if it was won in regulation by the Edmonton Oilers.
Skinner was shockingly good. I mean, this is the best game he's played in his playoffs. It was a fantastic game from Stuart Skinner. And that's another reason why I'm talking about Edmonton Oilers fans saying that this proves that they're not as bad as all the media have been saying is incorrect. They got the best start from their goaltender. Stars came out totally flat, and we still have to go to double overtime for Edmonton to pull it out. So he played amazing. I'm not worried about it. The Stars need to take better shots. They need to get more presence in front of the net, like James said, and it's not going to be an issue. This was the best from the Oilers, probably the worst you can get playoff-wise from the Stars. Still went to double overtime, and we almost won.
Yeah, I mean, and that really, the whole thing for me is just the power play. I mean, you can't have 5 power plays and not score one, especially being in the final 4 as well. I don't care how well the other penalty kill is doing. Like Chris said, the first 2 were great. Edmonton was super aggressive on it, stopped us up. By our third power play, we had figured out how to at least set up and get zone time. We were passing it up in north and south real quickly to stop them from getting on us, and we were getting our space and we were getting chances. Really, the big 2 that I think of is Robertson hit both the posts in overtime. I mean, he hit the right one, tried the left one, hit that one too. And both of those Skinner never saw. I mean, he's completely screened on both.
Yeah,
and
they were great plays.
It's just posts. Yeah, you got a better shot.
The other thing about this game, guys, is just it kind of wastes the performance by Jake Ottinger and everything like that. But the other thing that I thought about, and we talked about this in our preview yesterday, Chris, if we hold the Edmonton Oilers and we stay 5-on-5 or we stay on the power play, then we win the series. That's what we said. Obviously, this game is not a representation of that. And that alone is a little bit scary to me because literally all of the goals that were scored by the Oilers tonight were 5-on-5.
It would scare me if it wasn't game one.
If it wasn't game one, which the Stars are always going to lose, and the two goals that they got, well, the first two goals that they got were, I mean, those are weird 5-on-5 goals, if you're going to call them that.
Went off of Lindell's butt straight to Draisaitl, man.
Yeah,
straight
I mean,
him.
what kind of bounces that to that kind of player? Like, that's impressive.
On the flip side, Sagan's second goal was probably the exact same way.
That's a bump pass from
Dadonov.
That was for sure a bump pass from Dadonov.
But
if you go back
again,
and watch,
it's still
completely intentional.
It's still a bounce. It's still a bounce that goes in the Stars' favor. It was in the Stars' favor.
A pass in the Stars' favor. You're correct.
Off of Dadonov's stick is not the same as off of a defenseman's butt.
Yeah, defenseman's butt and a forward stick.
Although I kind of agree with Ricky at this point. The hockey gods don't want the Stars to win a game one. And you know what? The Stars...
The refs even tried to let us.
The refs handed it to you. 5-1 on the power plays. I thought for sure the Stars were going to get something. And they played so disciplined. It was hard to find something that you could have called on the Stars. It would have been super ticky-tacky. I still expected something to be called on them in the overtime. So they waste that too. They waste good officiating in our favor, and they waste the goaltending performance because everybody but Ben Sagan-Dadonov didn't show up to play.
I was really thinking that this was the series that they were going to win game one, and it's frustrating. It doesn't get it's very frustrating. It doesn't get done. But let's look on the positive side, at least a little bit on this here tonight. First off, Tyler Seguin, he gets 2 goals. That's something fantastic that we haven't seen a lot of him on. And you know, for some reason, all of a sudden, again, whenever you play with Jamie Benn, I guess the last couple of games, instead of, you know, Johnston being the catalyst, it looks like Jamie Benn is the catalyst of all the offense right now. So I don't know how to explain that. Y'all got any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think the bigger deal there is just, I mean, we talked about in our preview, Rope being out hurts us more in our line combinations, more so than it does even just missing Rope's production. And you could tell that tonight. The lines were scrambled from the 10-minute mark of the first period, and they never stopped shuffling. I mean, we couldn't get comfortable with any of these line combinations, especially when you only had 3 players that were playing well and we're trying to get other guys going, and just couldn't happen. So Rope being out tonight hurt us in that respect. Not being able to put our centers where we want them and have them match up the way we want definitely hurt. And all Edmonton media was talking about, Rope's out, you got to take advantage. I mean, credit to them. They did that. They took advantage of the Stars not having the lineup they wanted, and they stole the game.
And that was going to be my next point, Chris. You basically read my mind. I mean, do we see Hintz come back in game 2? Joey of Locked On said we probably don't see him until game 5. It really feels like we need him to come back sooner rather than later. So maybe he will push himself to get back into the lineup sooner. I don't know if that is a good thing or if he should just wait it off. And if we lose game 2, then worry about him coming in. I don't know what the answer is right now, but boy, do we need him in the lineup right now.
I hope so. I just don't see it. I think he's hurt worse than coaching staff is letting on. I don't see him coming back soon.
And I know y'all are saying, like, we think we need him. I don't know if we do. If Hintz is in this game, I don't know if we win anyway. And you get the idea of clicking all the lines together. Okay, whatever. It wasn't working at all until the Oilers put up 2 on us. And then it took Sagan and Ben scrambling in front of the net to get 1. And it's just, I don't know that a Rope Hintz in this game would have helped much.
I think a Rope Hintz in this game helps more so just being able to play the Marchment, Sagan, Duchesne line together. I think that helps a ton because Marchment was throwing his weight all over the ice, playing a great playoff game as well, and just couldn't get anything going offensively. And we know exactly why. He has only been able to produce offensively when that line is together. I think that makes a huge difference tonight. I think Johnston being able to play more comfortably next to Jamie Benn consistently would help tonight. And I think Robo is non-existent partially because of Rope being out as well. I think it helps with him having a faster guy being able to create space for him. So I think it does make a bigger difference, but I still think there needs to be a different solution because I don't see Rope coming back in the near term.
They could have gotten it done tonight, and really, I think they should have gotten it done tonight, especially with the early double minor in overtime. That should have been the end of the game there. It really should have been. We were onslaught on them over and over and over and over again. That should have been the end. And
if you want to put on one
failed
thing
miserably in that aspect.
Yeah, it's the power play. If the Stars are even bad on the power play tonight, then we win this game. But they were atrocious, so we lose.
Well, and I completely agree with you, James, and what you're saying. But what I think Chris is trying to get across is that, having this energy and having the chemistry on the lines definitely would have helped. But I mean, you can't say that it couldn't have. That's just, I think, where he's at. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the defensive game here tonight. It just looked a step slow, and the plays that we saw them make during the first two series, the Oilers apparently had done a lot of video review on what they could do against the Stars because they looked. I don't want to say it was just a step faster than the Stars, which they were for good portions of the game. But it just didn't look like Dallas could close defensively on the Oilers like they did against Colorado in the last series.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think they played the rush defense fantastic against the Oilers. I didn't think they gave McDavid and Draisaitl any looks at all off the rush. I do think that they were able to forecheck as well, and our defense made some uncharacteristic passes out of their own zone that we haven't seen in the first two playoff series. And that really cost them tonight as well. So it was just a few miscues from the defense that we hadn't seen up to this point. And I think the Oil took advantage of that there. I think the defensive rush looked great by those guys.
Yeah, I mean, most of the game, they didn't get an offensive rush. And when they did, most of the time is broken up. It's really, some of it was unlucky bounces and just good execution from the Oil on the last play too. I mean, it's a scramble from the Stars because they lost two in the corner in the offensive zone, and no one picks up McDavid in front because someone has to be open because 3-on-4, it's tough. Someone has to be open though, and it gets right over to him, and he makes a perfect shovel into the opposite side of the net.
It was a 3-on-4, and all three of our players were behind their own net. Interesting.
Last things, and we'll kind of wrap it up here tonight, guys. Connor McDavid is fighting something, and the one play you can look at is Esa Lindell is the one that catches up to Connor McDavid. He's got to be fighting something, and despite him, fighting whatever he is, he's still the best player on the ice tonight. Gets the goal. All the big guys for the Oilers show up, and none for the Stars do.
Yeah. McDavid is obviously hurting, and he still scores the game winner in double overtime with a great play.
In game one of the Western Conference Final.
That dude is crazy. And yeah, what you said is exactly true. The big guys from the Oil all showed up. I mean, that's who scores for the Oil. That's it. Those three guys. And Stars didn't get none of that. And we still almost won the game. That's the thing that Stars fans need to take away from this, is that Stars played almost as bad as they can play in the playoffs. Oil played perfect, and we still almost won.
Yeah, you got to shut down those top guys. Other than that, I mean, everyone's got to get back in on the offense here. Sagan's been basically the only one, it feels like, for the last 3 games.
They will regroup for game 2. They will play better, and I truly believe this series will be tied at 1 with the series headed back to Edmonton. Biggest winner, biggest loser, real quick, because I got to get back on the road.
Tyler Seguin, he's crazy. I mean, like you said, James, the past 3 games for him have just been insane, and that's exactly what this team kind of builds on, is passing the torch when it needs to be passed. When one guy's hot, you prop him up. That's exactly what they've done, and he has taken advantage. Crazy.
James? I'm going to give mine to Dodonov. He's been spectacular, too, in the last 3 games, particularly his playmaking. And that's not someone who we expect to do that all the time either. And he's just been on one, making the great, perfect passes. I mean, again,
So many good passes.
I think the second goal was right off his stick to him intentionally.
I think it's a great pass. Yeah.
It's a low percentage pass from Dodonov, but it's intentional, definitely. Where he puts his stick and where he's angling it, all intentional. That is a ridiculous pass.
And the eyes flip right to Sagan as soon as it hits his stick, too. Like, you can't, I mean, had to have been.
I'm surprised it got to me without one of y'all saying it. The obvious biggest winner tonight is Jay Gottinger. He showed up after he gave up that second goal. And you know what? Maybe I can just give it to goaltending in general in the game tonight. Stuart Skinner was very good as well. So
his best game of the playoffs.
It was his best game of the playoffs. And Otter, that was probably the best save of the playoffs. Honestly, that save on McDavid is ridiculous. So, what's your biggest loser tonight?
Mine is gonna be Joe Pavelski. I mean, he was so bad tonight. He had to get taken off of the top power play unit in the overtime. I mean, we've been saying he can't skate for a while now. He really couldn't skate tonight. It looks so sluggish. I mean, it's hard to watch, honestly, right now for me. I mean, it's getting a little frustrating.
I hate that for Pavs. I really do.
My biggest loser is far and away the power play for the Stars. That's terrible. You can't go 0 for 5 and win a game. It's a 1-goal game. You got to score on 1 of 5 chances.
Yeah. That's
I'm gonna double down on that. I got nothing else to add to that, just for the fact that, you know, you're giving 5 power plays to the other team's 1. They've got a ridiculous, amazing power play, and you can't take advantage of 1. And 2 of the power plays you got in single overtime.
And 3 of the power plays, you look crazy. You were all over them.
Yeah.
No reason not to score.
Yep. Okay. I know some of y'all are saying Tanev. I'm not going to give it to Tanev. He's been too good this playoffs. He's allowed to have 1 bad game if he had a bad game. I didn't think he was that bad, but you're allowed to think what you think, Nate. And there might be some truth to that. We're 3 minutes away from midnight. We got to say a happy birthday to a special birthday boy over here on the left, James. Happy birthday,
James. Start your party.
Stars couldn't make it to the 24th to score.
If they'd only, we'd probably be in quadruple overtime if that was the case here. But okay, guys, anything else?
Nope.
All right. It's a sad day. Stars will regroup. We'll see them back in game 2. It'll be tied going back to Edmonton. Thank you guys for watching along with us tonight. We had 95. There's more of you who are listening afterwards. We appreciate you guys as always. SarcasticRemarks.com is the website. Please go and check that out. And if you like anything you heard today, click like and subscribe on YouTube. We're at 420, guys. 420. And yes, that was a joke. Yes. And then on top of that, if you're listening anywhere on the podcast side, please consider doing that, leaving us a review. Along with Chris, along with James, my name's Ryan. Catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. See y'all on the next one.